call this meeting to order. This is our regular Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting on Monday, February the 24th. If you would, let's rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Holy God, we are always begin by just giving you thanks for Tullahoma, for this community, for the organizations and businesses and the diverse population that we have, from the wealthiest to the poorest, from the churches and the clubs and wherever people may gather. We're grateful for this community. As we gather tonight, may the leadership of of our mayor and aldermen, may the community leaders who are gathered here help us to continue to find new ways to work together, to be together, to grow as a community. We give you thanks for this day. In Christ's name, amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start off with the roll call. We've done the roll call electronically. We have 5 present this evening. Alderman Mathis and Alderman Toma are out this evening. We'll move on to commendations and certificates. First of all, we want to recognize our honorary alderman from the Mayor's Youth Council. We have 2 young men with us this evening. They're members of the Youth Council. Attended their meeting the other night, and we had some lessons on parliamentary procedure, which sounds really boring until you realize I got there and they were working on a budget with the mayor's salary set at $6 million, and I was very appreciative of that. Gentlemen, you want to go up? Was that part-time? I think so. They asked me, are you full-time, part-time? I said, that price, I'll be in for time tomorrow. We have Joaquin, Tenaglia, Canute. Did I get close? I'm sorry. Yes. There we go. And Edward Henry. And so we appreciate you being here and open those up for us. Lyle will take a photo here.
Actually, if y'all want to scoot over that way, so
Get the flags in.
yeah, there we go. I'll get that in the background. Great. 1, 2, and then 3. We can go one more. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
And if you guys don't mind stepping the mic and saying a little bit about yourselves and what's going on at Tullahoma High School.
Hi, my name is Edward Henry, and I'm a sophomore at Tullahoma High School. Currently, I am in FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, DECA, Distributive Educational Clubs of America, and then Mayor's Youth Council as well. In DECA, we are leaving tomorrow for our SLDC, if I remember correctly, and so I'm excited for that. My friend Chris, who is also in Mayor's Youth Council and FBLA, he and we are in a team event, and I'm excited for our presentation and competition, and I hope we do well. And then I'm also in the symphonic band at the high school, and I'm excited for our upcoming concert on Thursday night. So that's what's going on in my life.
Hi, my name is Joaquin Tenaglia Canute, and I'm a sophomore at Tullahoma High School. I am in FBLA with Edward, and I'm also in Mayor's Youth Council, where in just a short while we're going to be helping down at the recycling plant to sort through. And I'm also in the symphonic band with Edward, and I'm very excited for our concert. And I'm also in the jazz band and brass choir. And we are going to be performing later in March at Arts Night, and hopefully performing at more competitions afterwards.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate y'all both being here this evening. Next, we have proclamation for Black History Month. I'll read the proclamation. I think we have a number of folks from We Cares Committee, and a few others are going to join us with this presentation, but let me read this. Black History Month, February 2025. Whereas Black History Month is a time to honor and celebrate the rich heritage, achievements, and contributions of Black Americans to the history, culture, and progress of the United States. And whereas throughout our history, Black Americans have played a pivotal role in shaping our nation's history through leadership, innovation, cultural contributions, and a steadfast pursuit of justice and equality. Whereas this month also encouraged us to recognize the diversity within the Black community and to appreciate the creative, intellectual, and economic contributions that continue to enrich our society. And whereas the contributions of Black History Month underscores the importance of fostering greater understanding, respect, and unity, inspiring current and future generations to continue the pursuit of justice and equity for all people. Whereas I call upon all citizens to join me in celebrating the achievements and contributions of Black Americans, reflecting on the lessons of history, and continuing the important work of building a just and inclusive society, and extend our tremendous gratitude and recognition to those leading our community in this direction. Former Alderman and sitting Coffee County Commissioner Jackie Duncan, former Alderman and sitting TUA Board Member J.T. Northcutt, former and sitting Alderman Cernovia McGee, the Weed Care Committee, the Tullahoma Parks and Recreation, Fire and Police Department, City of Tullahoma staff, and many others in our community. Now therefore, I, Lynn Seaburn, Mayor of the City of Tullahoma, Tennessee, on behalf of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and citizens, do hereby declare the month of February 2025 as Black History Month. And now therefore be it further resolved, I call upon public officials, educators, librarians, and all the people of Tullahoma to recognize and observe this month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Y'all come on up.
I had no idea. I'm sorry. I knew there was some kind of proclamation, but I had no idea. We feel honored. We are honored. Thank you so much for that gift, for that honor, just a recognition. Now I have a gift for our city manager. It's something that I displayed it one time, and he saw it and he liked it. And I told him, I'll fix you up with a copy of it. It's my poem that I wrote of Tullahoma, Tennessee. At one time in my life, I thought this little town wasn't big enough for me. And I got my little car together and packed it up, and on the back quarter pounds on each side, I took it to Shockley painters out there, professional painter, had him paint on there, "Color Me Gone." And I was out of here. And I went, it's a good little story, but I went and stayed in California for about a year. And I did everything in the world that was possible, I guess, in the city, but, just good things. And had a great ball, just fantastic. But I knew it wasn't the place for me. Tullahoma was my town. And so when I got back, came about a year later, I came back home. And that's when, I started getting involved in things at my constituents' requests. I didn't get into politics on my own. I was asked to represent my friends on the county commission, and then the city. I spoke with someone in the city, and they said, well, we'd like you in the city government as well. So I did do city and county government for 2 terms. Mm-hmm. And I thought maybe I was holding somebody else up that wanted to serve as well, and I just felt guilty, and I really did. And I didn't run as good a campaign maybe as I could have, but I'm just pleased that everything has worked out so And the city of Tullahoma, like I said, is my town. And I just was so inspired when I got back that I wrote a poem. I had to write a poem about it. And then I'd like to present it to the city manager. And it's called Tullahoma, Tennessee. And it goes, oh, I have chased a time or two in search of things unknown. I have seen the glittering gold of life and wandered far from home. The things I sought I already had when blinded eyes could see. For the place I left in search of my dream was the place that cried out to me. Oh, there's something about the atmosphere. Kindness fills the air. Mama says there's so much love, God often visits there. If you search the whole world over, none other you'll find the same that likens her uniqueness or even shares her name. Her secret seems to have captured my heart, for my spirit yearns to be where love, peace, and hope reside, Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Thank you, Jackie. All right, it's time now for public comments. I think we have a number of folks in here this evening. If I figure out which pocket I put my glasses in, I'll get it out and read the list here. The first one, okay, so Beverly, you want to come up, start this off? And when you come, please give your name and address.
Right. My name is Beverly Lee, and I live at 114 Fairways Boulevard North in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And I want to say good evening, Mayor Seaborn, council members, and fellow citizens of Tullahoma. I just want to begin by acknowledging the community members who are joining us this evening in support of the Arnold Heritage and Innovation Center initiative. And that proposed facility, hopefully at Wagner Field, which we're going to discuss later this evening during the study session. Many are lifelong residents in Tullahoma, while others have chosen to make this their home of all the places they could go, just like Jackie's poem. And many are actively engaged in work at Arnold Engineering Development Complex. They represent families with children and grandchildren in our city schools. Growing up in our community, many of them have done that, and their children and grandchildren will benefit directly from this vision. This proposed facility will transform Wagner Field into not only a great park with sports facilities, but a vibrant center for collaboration, STEM education, workforce training, and innovation. A place where entrepreneurs will bring their ideas to life. If you talk to all the young engineers, and Arnold is hiring numerous young engineers, they described Arnold Engineering Development Complex as Disneyland for engineers. They get to work with the newest and sometimes game-changing programs from all the defense contractors, as well as the new space age commercial companies. Imagine bringing that same spirit of discovery and excitement to a place accessible to all of our residents, especially our youth. For 73 years, AEDC has been our region's largest employer. As the Department of Defense phases out many of their legacy programs, they urgently need fresh, innovative ideas from scientists and engineers. This facility will help nurture those ideas while also supporting commercial applications that will benefit our entire community. This isn't just about defense. It's about creating a collaborative hub where Tullahoma can develop and retain talented professionals and a thriving workforce, where it can foster an environment where innovation thrives. And they can continue their journey of hands-on STEM learning for teenagers, young adults, and professionals. A collaborative place with energy and real work being accomplished. And most importantly, we're talking about an Arnold Heritage and Innovation Center. This facility will help inspire the next generation and those to come. I just want to say thank you for your consideration. I look forward to the study session, but I especially want to thank other people that have come here to speak what they think about this initiative and how successful we all hope it will be. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Derek Rowe. Yeah. Okay.
Good evening.
Go ahead, sorry.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Alderman, and distinguished guests. I'm honored to speak to you today about a transformative vision for our youth and our community, the Arnold Heritage and Innovation Centre at Wagner Park. This initiative represents a pivotal moment for education, workforce development, and the comprehensive growth of our high school students in Tullahoma and surrounding region. At the heart of this centre is a commitment to enhancing educational experiences. This spectacular facility will serve as a dynamic learning environment where students can engage with STEM subjects in a hands-on manner, especially in subjects such as aviation and aerospace and technology. We will inspire students to envision careers that were once out of reach. This isn't just classroom learning, it's about igniting passion for our future leaders. The Arnold Heritage and Innovation Centre is a critical investment in workforce development by collaborating with industry partners like AEDC. We will create pathways for students to gain relevant skills that align with high-demand jobs in aerospace, aviation, engineering, and technology. This means our youth will graduate not just with diplomas, but with superior skills to thrive in a competitive job market. This centre also prioritises essential professional skills. Through dedicated programs, we will instill values of professionalism, work ethic, communication, and commitment. By engaging in team projects and networking events, students will learn accountability and collaboration, skills critical for their future success. The centre's impact extends beyond education. It will uplift our entire community. With a significant portion of our population facing economic challenges, this centre will provide invaluable resources to underrepresented and underemployed residents. We will create a vibrant ecosystem that supports local businesses and attracts new investment. In conclusion, the Arnold Heritage and Innovation Centre is a vital investment in the future of our students and our community. By prioritising education, workforce development, and the cultivation of professional skills, we are setting the stage for a thriving region. Let's work together to ensure our youth have the tools and inspiration they need to achieve their dreams. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to your support.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. Mark Mahalik.
Mr. Mayor, Alderman, my name's Mark Mahalik, formerly from 348 Turkey Creek Drive in Tullahoma, but right now living in Beech Grove, 800 McBride's Branch Road. But I have been involved in this project ever since I've lived in Tullahoma. I spent 40 years in the Air Force, a lot of time active duty, time as a civilian, and I've seen facilities like this before. And I've seen the impact that they have on the community, the impact they have on the entrepreneurship, on the businesses, and on the workforce of the communities where they reside. This is something that can really transform Tullahoma. It not only is a heritage center, but it's an innovation center, which is unique. Of all the places I've seen it around the country before, usually it's one or the other. But I think this unique combination is what makes it so special. It is something that will really boost not only businesses, but the community, because of the way it's put together, because of the things that can occur in this facility. It's not just for business, it's not just for workforce development, but it's for the community. And with that, I would like to tell you that I think this is a fantastic idea for the city of Tullahoma, and it's something that should be seriously considered.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Colonel Mazzell.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Grant Mizell, the commander of Arnold Engineering Development Center and a resident of the village at Arnold Air Force Base. First of all, distinguished mayor, board of aldermen, people of Tullahoma, thank you very much. Thank you for your support, continued support, and thank you for being visionaries and looking forward to the future. Thank you for all that you do for the Arnold Air Force Base workforce. I want to say I think it's always exciting to see the community come together in this kind of way to improve the quality of life, provide opportunities. I know that the employees and the military members at Arnold Air Force Base are part of your community and will benefit from your efforts. Arnold Air Force Base has a long history of innovation and involvement in our community, and I'm confident that we will continue to have great partnerships. I am excited to see the benefits that this project or any of your future projects that benefit our youth, that develop our continued workforce, and that inspire people to come to Tullahoma from all over the world. I'm excited to see the benefits that those will have for our workforce, for our families, and for our entire community. General Henry Hap Arnold, for whom Arnold Air Force Base and the Arnold Engineering Development Complex is named, was quoted as saying, "Our Air Force belongs to those who come from the ranks of labor, management, the farms, the stores, the professions and the colleges, and legislative halls. Air power will always be the business of every American citizen." Certainly here in Tullahoma and the surrounding communities, we see that commitment to air power within the community and the work that you perform here in this city. Thank you for your partnerships, and thank you for the work that you will do to continue to develop our community.
Thank you, sir. Don Wheeler.
Good evening. Don Wheeler. I reside at 1521 Baines Road in Hillsborough, Tennessee. I am a financial advisor with an office on Lincoln Street and recently been selected by the Air Force Materiel Command as a civic leader. Simply, I'm here to support the Arnold Heritage and Innovation Center, and specifically its location at Wagner Park. I believe that it would be a very attractive focal point as you enter the city. And I think that part of the proposal, having a center that recognizes Hap Arnold's contribution to our nation, but to our community, is very important. The Innovation Center itself, I have worked many years with students, and I think that students that are middle school, high school, are always looking for more opportunities for STEM-related competitions. I worked with a group called Odyssey of the Mind. It's an international thing but focused on engineering and art and a combination to solve problems. So very much in tune with what they wanted. One of the other things about our students I hear regularly is that our students leave this area to go to college to get educated, but few of them come back. And so I think that having a center like this where they would have the ability to come back and work with like-minded folks, either I've been an entrepreneur for 40 years, so I have I guess a special place in my heart for those people that want to develop new ideas and go out on their own. So that's very important. Also, I'm very active with the Chamber of Commerce, and I think that having a place that there's meeting rooms and event space is sorely needed for our community. So, like I say, I'm simply in support of this and its location, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Keely Beal.
Good evening, all. My name's Keely Beal.
and my family has lived at 107 Gardenia Circle in Terra Estates for almost 30 years. I'm not originally from Tullahoma. I didn't grow up in Tennessee. I grew up mostly in Florida. But right before my junior year in high school, I moved to Tennessee, up to Suwanee, which is where my family is from, and graduated from Franklin County High School. Boo. But my children have grown up in this town and have gone to school here, and we do call it our home. But I wanted to mention, back when I was in high school at Franklin County High, since I didn't live here and my family didn't have any kind of connections to AEDC or Arnold Air Force Base, I knew absolutely nothing about the base, what they did out there. I am a science geek, and so the guidance people at the high school saw, I guess, potential in me, and they allowed me to get a scholarship. It was the Swerdrup Scholarship back in the day, and it allowed me to co-op through my time in college and at the base, and so it was invaluable experience. And I was allowed to it opened me up to a lot of the things, all the things that AEDC does. My husband is also works at the base as well. He and I combined have over 90 years of experience at the base. I am semi-retired, but I haven't quite been able to give it up yet because I have ownership of my job. I've worked in many areas at the base. My husband, I don't think he will ever retire. So we both feel like we own our jobs and our work and that sort of thing. We both have firsthand experience, though, of a lot of young people who come to the base, and unfortunately they don't stay, like has been said before. And it's almost like that ownership factor doesn't kick in for some reason. And what I am convinced of is that this Heritage and Innovation Center that's hopefully going to be at Wagner Park can help bring young people into that space and can help with the programs and the offerings that are there, will help them to learn more about AEDC and all of the fun things we do there, because it is fun. It is like Disney World, as far as I'm concerned, because I grew up in Florida, and but it really is. It truly is, and I'm excited about my work, and hopefully this center will bring that to other young people as well. And thank you all for your time, and take care.
Thank you, Ms. Beal. John Osborne.
Good evening. Really appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to you all tonight. My name is John Osborne. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Parakin Enterprises, located at 115 West Lincoln Street and now expanded to 909 North Washington, and I reside at 511 Lake Haven Drive. I'm honored to be here today to discuss our support for the Arnold Heritage and Innovation Center at Wagner Park. For those of you that may not know, Parakin's been supporting ADC initiatives for the past 17 years. That entire 17 years I've been a part of that team supporting ADC. We really strive to push the boundaries of what is possible with hypersonic technology, T&E development. And now we have recognized the benefits of the Tullahoma area to where, as of about a week ago, it was announced that we are moving our corporate headquarters from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Tullahoma, Tennessee. So we are undergoing that process right now. And the reason why is we see a region that's rooted in aerospace history, which is what our bread and butter is it's full of talent here that we need to try to keep here, and this area is ready for something truly special. That's where this facility comes in. This center, it's not just a building. I mean, anybody can build a building. I personally see this as a launch pad. I envision this facility as really an incubator where young minds can get hands-on with aerospace engineering, software development, data analytics, additive manufacturing design, really the nuts and bolts of real-world applications of engineering and science. This is a place where that next generation of engineers and scientists who are a really critical piece in keeping our country at the top of its game, where they can explore careers, make a real impact on national defense. If you speak with any senior leader that is concerned about the competitive edge that we have as a nation, or otherwise, if we don't invest in those young minds now, we really do put ourselves at risk for something of graver concern in the years to come. And I see this as a space where Tullahoma can do its part in really advancing that support to national defense. From an industry perspective, this facility also serves as a much needed space for researchers, subject matter experts, and engineers to have access to meeting rooms and conference facilities. It really helps foster that accelerated research and development and prototyping activities that our Department of Defense is really trying to bring to the table today. It's a place where those real-world Doc Browns can come up with the next idea for time travel, or your real-world Tony Starks can develop the next suit. Parakin's committed to being an industry partner in this initiative, not only because of our long-standing relationship with AADC, but it's because we believe in the vision of this project. I encourage the City of Tullahoma to officially recognize and support the initiative, be supportive while the various teams are taking the necessary steps to securing funding and advancing this transformational project. I look forward to working alongside the Tullahoma Area Economic Development Corporation, AADC, the entire community to make the Arnold Heritage and Innovation Center become a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Joe Shealy.
Good evening. I'm Joe Shealy. I live at 245 Lake Haven Drive. Before that, I lived in 119 Breckenridge Road for about 23 years. Originally grew up out west, but moved out here as my first job and working on the base. Let me just say, Tullahoma is incredibly unique in that it's a small town next to the world's largest aerospace testing center. But coming into town, driving around, you really wouldn't know that because there really isn't anything here that says aerospace, the same sort of thing. Like if you go to Huntsville, you drive by the Space and Rocket Center, it's Rocket City everywhere. You go down to Cocoa, Florida, you're near Kennedy Space Center. You go to San Jose, California, you're near NASA Ames. We really don't have that here, and this technology, this Arnold Heritage and Innovation Center could help promote that as an aerospace center as people come into town to know where we are. Also, really, I'm surprised there isn't more of a pipeline from the schools, the local schools, to ADC, to UTSI, to some of these aerospace companies we're starting to see in town. It's really surprising that we don't see a regular, it is kind of the normal thing for not just the children of people working on the base or UTSI, but just people in general, students in general, getting STEM degrees and planning to work on the base. Also, there's a huge number of skilled craftsmen needed on the base. So people who are more hands-on certainly have a place there, but we need to have students learning these things, learning these skills, so they can get the jobs on the base and be able to stay in Tullahoma versus move somewhere else, as other people have said. It's also really not normal for a small town to have this many PhDs. I know there's at least 2 PhDs in this room. I'm guessing there's probably 6 or 7 sitting here, and that's just really not normal. And having something like this innovation center is really something that should be in Tullahoma. So when Beverly first started bringing this idea up to me and to others, I kind of thought about what exactly is an innovation center. You talk about, okay, meeting rooms and things like that. But really, to me, I thought about it a while, and I kind of discovered it's kind of like the 21st century library, where you have different tools and things, like you may have some engineering software that's fairly expensive to buy a license of, if you're a private citizen. But you could have copies of that people could go in and check out and use to design something, do some analysis of things. You could have different types of machining tools, lathes and drill presses and so on, so people could build prototypes up. You could have 3D printing machines. You could have different things that people could use, just like a library where you go and you check something out that you couldn't afford to have yourself, but you could use, by everybody using it, and it's all putting a little bit of the cost of it in, it could be something that people can use to get their ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. And then Joe Lester.
Joe Lester, 2011 Country Club Drive. And at this time of night, I'm a man of very, very few words, so I've got just a few quick little bullet points to make. Of course, I'm here to speak in favor of this Heritage and Innovation Center. When these potential type huge projects come our way and the carpet's rolled and hits us in the feet, we need to figure out a way to see if we can make this happen. This is how Tullahoma has been so progressive over the years. I came here in 1975. I've seen a lot of these type things happen. This is something that I think Tullahoma needs. I would like to for sure say to Beverly Lee, thank you, Beverly, for your tremendous work you've done on this project, and let's keep this ball rolling. And the last point I would like to make is I'd like to request the city administrator and the mayor appoint a task force to work with Beverly's group, and let's work through the process here and see what we need to do to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. So that concludes our people that were signed up for public comments. So we'll close public comments and move into our regular meeting agenda. We appreciate everybody coming out tonight and speaking on that topic. Our first item is approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda? Motion by Alderman McGee, second by Alderman Glick. Is there any discussion on the agenda? If not, let's vote. 5 yes. Reports from the alderman. We'll start over here with Kurt. Alderman Glick, sorry.
In the interest of time, I have no report for tonight.
Okay. Ms. McGee.
I just have a few things to report. First of all, I want to say thank you for the proclamation recognizing Black History Month, so thank you for that. The Tullahoma Housing Authority, they have rescheduled their meeting for tomorrow night, so I will be in attendance there. And I have communicated with Dr. Stevens regarding the street closure there by Craft Lane, and she has spoken to the leadership at Tullahoma High School to communicate that information with the students, so they won't be using that street when that street closure happens. Last Thursday, I was honored to be the speaker at the We Care Committee Black History Program, so thank you all for inviting me to do that. And then I attended the Planning Commission meeting, and that's all I had. Thank you.
Ms. Wilson.
Thanks, Mayor. I spoke about this in our last meeting, but I wanted to remind everyone that because it's happening this weekend, this Saturday, from 9 to 1 at Wagner Park. And I'd like to just say that I'm excited to share that our community has been selected to host a Tennessee Environmental Council Recycling Roundup this weekend from 9 to 1. The event is a collaborative event between the City of Tullahoma and the TEC to provide residents with an easy and responsible way to recycle and safely dispose of various household items. We are fortunate to have several key member community partners helping this make this event a success, including CFC Recycling, Attic Outlet, our very own Tullahoma Public Works and Police Department, 93.9 The Duck. And this was a wonderful way for everyone to declutter and make a real impact by diverting waste from landfills and ensuring responsible disposal of materials. For full event details, including what items will be accepted in preparation, visit the city Facebook page, or you can also visit, just look into our agenda, which is City of Tullahoma, and it will have the information on there as well. And I just encourage everyone to participate, help spread the word, share as much as you can. And also, if anyone's interested in volunteering, we're accepting volunteers as well. So just reach out to us and we will sign you up. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Byrd.
Thank you. I was able to attend an airport authority meeting that Winston Brooks with the TAEDC gave an update on the business air park. Learned that one of the largest reasons for not finding businesses to move in is the inability to get semis down Ledford Mill Road due to the narrow bridge and the narrow curve. That's something I spoke with Mr. Quick about, see if there's anything I can do to help with that. I was also able to participate in the first city podcast with Lyle, Tullahoma at Work. I'd encourage for all of the board to speak with Lyle to schedule a time to do so. It was a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that other city employees will eventually be able to be a part of that, give a little peek behind the curtain of what it takes to help Tullahoma run. We also all received emails to schedule tours with Tullahoma Utility Authority. It's another thing I'm really looking forward to see what it takes to keep the lights running. And the Arts Council has been rescheduled to this Thursday due to last week's weather. Thank you.
Thank you. Report from there. In the same interest of time, I also will skip a report. City Administrator.
I will do my best to save time. I want to congratulate the Tullahoma Fire Department. I don't know how many are aware that the Color Guard was able to present the colors at the Predators game over the weekend. And that was just a special time for them to be recognized. It just so happens Rosie Graham's granddaughter sang the national anthem, and so I don't think that we were aware that the two would be on the same night. But just want to say thank you to those gentlemen for doing that, and the Predators were outstanding hosts for us. In your packet, you'll see just a few things that I wanted to point out. From a new business openings perspective, if you look at that, we've had 113 so far from July through January. That's averaging 16 new businesses opening up in town per month. Last year at this time, we were about at 11 per month. And if we keep on this track, we're going to be setting a record of 193 by the end of June. So we continue to see people coming and locating, their small businesses here. And then if you look at the Parks and Rec page, you'll see that our membership is up over 10.5% same time last year. Our usage of the facility is up by 13.5%, and the facility rentals are up 21% just compared to last year. So we continue to see a lot of traffic through our facilities. I was able to attend the Grand Challenges Summit sponsored by the University of Tennessee. It was in Murfreesboro. Good time for myself, and Winston was there for one of the days to just learn more about rural workforce development. There were a couple of sessions that talked about how do you recruit good workers in a good workforce development program, but then also how do you retain them and make sure that you continue to build that culture for people that want to come work there. I met with a local entrepreneur this last week who has come up with a new technology called Video Bomb that we are possibly going to be looking at doing a pilot program with them. We'll give you more details. In fact, we may do a demonstration if we decide to do a pilot program. But what it would do, we would use it from the aspect of promoting our town, promoting things that we do within the town and basically throughout the city. Last thing, TDOT extension. Regarding Ledford Mill, we have received a extension for that agreement through 2028. It came over today. We'll get that to the board for consideration at the next board meeting, but basically it's just extending the contract for another 3 years. And that's my report.
Thank you. Next item is our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion and a second. If there's no discussion there, let's vote on that. So we have 5 yes. So So that carries. So unfinished business, ordinance number 1642, an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the city of Tullahoma as set forth in the Tennessee Municipal Code to rezone a parcel located at 381 Flowertown Road to neighborhood commercial C3 zoning district for passage on the second and final reading. Do we have a motion and second? We do. A motion from Alderman Byrd, second from Alderman Glick. We discussed this a good bit last meeting. Does anyone have any additional questions on this item? If not, let's vote on that. Five yes, so that passed. No other unfinished business, so new business. Agenda item 25-23, request from the city administrator to approve the city administrator's appointment of Samuel Luthi as interim director of planning and development. Mr. Quick, you want to comment on that?
Yes, as included in the personnel regulations 3.6, if there is a opening or if there is a vacancy in a department head position, that is to be brought before the Board of Mayor and Aldermen within 30 days. We are fortunate. We have Samuel Luthi, who joined us back in January. As you'll see on his resume and in the write-up, has a good background in working in land planning, planner, and as a town planner with the city of Nolensville. He has been serving in a replacement of Charles Rush, who left on January 27th, and has done an outstanding job. In fact, I was in a meeting just today in which I watched him work through an issue with a developer or a builder that turned out to be a very good meeting that probably wouldn't have started out that way. So I appreciate the way that he handles working with our developers and our residents. So I would ask that you allow him to be appointed as the interim director of planning and development over the course of the next several months, and then we'll be looking to fill that position.
Okay, so there will be a job search for the full
Yes.
position. Any questions or comments?
I just had a question that I've never known us in the past to bring it to have the board to vote on an interim appointment. Is that you're just being above and beyond, or
I would
is that
this
a
is-
new regulation, or?
This is something that I discussed with our legal counsel. I was under the same impression as you, Alderman Click. In speaking with Mr. Worsham, he brought me this 3.6 a policy that's part of our personnel regulations. So in just to be over the top to make sure we're doing this correctly, I'm bringing that to you now.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? If not, we'll vote. Or I'm sorry, we have a motion, okay. Motion passes 5-0. New business agenda item 25-24. A request from the city administrator to approve the placement of a self-service kiosk in the city municipal building that will produce driver's licenses issued by the state of Tennessee and authorize the mayor to execute the corresponding agreement. Mr. Quick?
I think this is going to be a popular item for many people.
I
No
do
more
too.
long waits in the DMV line or wondering if they're even open. This kiosk is sponsored by the state. We will be one of, I believe, 17 to 25 that will be located throughout the state. This will allow residents who have a driver's license to come in and do renewal, and as you'll see, it allows them to replace IDs, do an address change, but it's a lot of self-service versus having to go and stand in line at the DMV. So we'll be looking to locate that in the lobby at City Hall. We also have a similar kiosk that Coffee County has provided, which allows for, remind me, JP.
License.
There you go.
plate
Thank you very
renewals.
much. License plate and registration renewals. So that again will kind of bring some ease of life to some of our citizens. So we're also going to locate that one in City Hall at the lobby. We've already worked with Adam Booker to make sure that we have enough networking, cabling, and opportunity to bring that on. And so that's what we're asking to do, is just basically sign the agreement or allow the mayor to sign the agreement to have this kiosk placed in the lobby.
Is there any cost for the city to do that?
None.
Okay.
I have a comment.
Mr. Glick, sorry.
Yeah, I was just asking about the location of it being at City Hall. I thought that it was a really good location at D.W. Wilson for the license plate tag thing, because they're open more hours and there's more accessibility to it for longer periods of time to the public, and not just the work day when a lot of people are at work. but it never seemed to work right. I went down there and tried to use it several times and it didn't work. So is that why you're moving it to City Hall instead of there? Or?
There's been some major network issues, and it seems to be more on our end as far as how much it's going to be taking from our supply of cabling. And the power that goes with that. And so we're going to be able to bring that up here, and we've tested to make sure that they will work in there. So I do understand what you're talking about as far as availability and time. We also had looked at maybe putting it in the police lobby because they're open for a longer period of time. And then in talking with Adam, we felt like this would be the best for us. One of the things that's very, very good about these kiosks is they're easy to move around if need be. So should we decide that we would need to move it back to move it to DW, move it to the police department, it's basically a phone call to them, let them know that we want to relocate it, and they would come do that.
Well, that brings up the second part of my question. I thought that might be the issue of why that was having a hard time down there. And I noticed later on the agenda we're having an item to have new cabling and a whole new system put at D.W. Wilson in that area down there. If that improves the service for that area, could we think about possibly moving these kiosks to D.W. Wilson again? I just think it's a community-friendly area, easily accessible, large parking lot, easy in and out of, works long hours and on the weekend. So I think it would be an advantageous place to have it if we can support it.
Ms. Wilson, sorry I missed you earlier.
Oh, thanks, Mayor. This is really just a comment about, I'm all for the kiosk. I think that it's a great idea. You know, there's a lot of people that that will be advantageous for. But I also wanted to remind everybody that many of those things you're actually able to do just logging on with your computer from home. You can get replacement IDs and things of that nature, as long as you don't need a picture or something. You just so that you know.
Yeah, and I guess I'll just add one more comment, real to Mr. Glick's comment about location. And I agree that area is open a lot more. I don't know if the people think to go to a park and rec center to get the driver's license, which they come to City Hall. So if we do that, which if it gets more hours, we just need to do a good job of advertising that location, publicizing that. So
yeah, definitely.
Right. Any other discussion on that? All right, let's vote. Five yes, so that motion carries. Agenda item 25-25, a request from the fire department to approve a memorandum of understanding to allow the continuation of mutual aid between the Arnold Fire and Emergency Services and the Tullahoma Fire Department, and authorize mayor to execute the same. Has there been any significant change in that agreement?
No, it's just a continuation of what we've done in the past.
You want to explain that just real quickly
So
for the public?
basically, we just have a memorandum of understanding where it's reciprocal. We will support them in the time of need, and vice versa, they will support us as well. We have this about every 5 years where we'll do a continuation of the original agreement.
Any questions or comments? A motion by Alderman Glick and second by somebody. I didn't catch who that was, sorry. But anyway, let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 25-26, a request from the IT department to approve the bid of $32,993.55 by Nexus Communications Group LLC to complete the network cabling project, and authorize mayor to sign corresponding documents.
So this one's going to go hand in hand with 2527 that will be coming afterwards. I've asked our director of IT, Adam Booker, to come to explain. I will remind you, there was an email that was sent to the alderman explaining some of the details that may not be presented in public for obvious reasons.
Okay.
So the reason for this one is to streamline some of our support. It's also going to reduce our costs on the hardware by about $9,000 to $12,000, and increase our efficiency with the new system going in.
So this one's specifically cabling only?
Correct.
Yeah. Anyone have any questions on this one? No, we've got a lot of old IT infrastructure. I'm kind of excited to get it updated. All right, if there's no questions, we'll vote. That one approved 5-0. And then the next item is agenda item 25-27, a request from the IT department to approve funding of $129,569.90 under statewide contract for the network hardware and professional installation, and authorize the mayor to sign corresponding documents.
So, in probably the first assignment that was given to Adam upon being hired is I wanted him to do a thorough analysis of our hardware, software. Where do we have gaps? Where do we have vulnerabilities? And he has done an outstanding job of doing that over time. And we already have several things in place that has made us a much more secure network. This is the benefit or the result of what he has done. So he's also going to bring you this one for the hardware.
Go ahead. Do you have any comment on that? Is this like servers and switches and that sort of thing?
So this is the actual network equipment. So we've, as we were just talking about with the other hardware situation where we've had some failures. So in the year that I've been here, that's probably been the biggest pain point across the city is network outages. And it's just that we've been overloading the existing hardware. So this new hardware should be able to handle a lot more traffic. Basically, the wireless access points that we have in here are only rated to handle about 50 connections. What we're going to is going to be able to handle a couple hundred per access point.
Good, thank you. Any other questions on that? We have a motion by Alderman McGee and a second from Alderman Byrd. Let's vote. So that carries 5-0. That's the end of our regular business, and so we have a study session coming in next. We're going to adjourn the regular meeting. Before I do that, would the members like a 5-minute break, or do you want to press on? You want 5? Okay. All right, so we'll adjourn the regular meeting, and we'll take a 5-minute break before we start the study session.